What zoning is required to own a mobile home park? You can't just buy land and have a mobile home park. What is the zoning that allows you to make it legal? Most cities don't want mobile home parks in their backyard, so how do you find the land that fits the zoning to have a mobile home park? Before you buy land for a mobile home park, you need to check this first. That way you're not stuck with a useless piece of property. By the end of this video, you're gonna know what the requirements are for zoning of a mobile home park, how to check those requirements, and what to do if a mobile home park isn't zoned properly. The importance of proper zoning. When owning a mobile home park, the first thing to check is it properly zoned? That's where you're gonna call the town zoning department, or if they don't have a zoning department, the building department, and ask them, what is the current zoning of this property? If it's zoned for mobile home park use, you're in the clear. If it's not, then the first thing to do is check for grandfathered status. You wanna be sure that the property will be allowed to maintain the use as a mobile home park. This will allow you to keep doing business and moving in mobile homes. And if you don't have that use, that's a big problem. Now, if you're looking to develop a park, there's a lot of other factors you need to look at. Number one is, does the master plan of the town allow for mobile home use? If you're looking to build a mobile home park, first thing you want to do, check the zoning. Check your municipality's local zoning maps and you'll see where mobile home parks are allowed to be developed. Second thing you might need is a special use permit. So even if you're allowed to build a mobile home park, you still need to get a special use permit and submit your plan to the town council, and they're going to be able to tell you, yes, we do allow this permit or not. So there's a risk there. So do not buy land until you have all your permits. The only way that you can buy land is if the town says it's a use by right, and that is where they'll allow you to build a mobile home park without having a public hearing. That is ideal, but that is very rare. Next thing to check is, what are the density requirements? That means how many mobile home lots can you fit on an acre? If you're subjected to only 4 or 5 lots per acre, it's probably not going to be profitable for you to build a mobile home park on all that land unless you're getting the land for free or you've owned the land for decades. You want closer to 10 units per acre or more. That's the beauty of mobile home parks, is it's high density housing. You can still fit in a good sized mobile home and you're going to be able to build the infrastructure out. That way you can make it profitable where you can fit in a density of 10 plus homes per acre and build a mobile home park. Ideally, that's at least 50 to 100 lots, so it's worth all the time and energy of building. If you found a piece of land or own a piece of land where the zoning is approved, but you do need to get a special use permit and you have to have a public hearing, you may get community pushback. You may have heard the phrase NIMBY, not in my backyard. That's where people do not want mobile homes typically near their housing. So they're going to come in and probably contest your project. Now, it just depends on the local political preferences in the area. If you do have support from your local councilman or an affordable housing lobbying group, you have a good shot at getting approvals. Yet, if there's no one endorsing your project, it's going to be very difficult if all the residents come out and resist the project because they don't want any low-income housing in their backyard. I again suggest do not buy the land until you know for sure that you will have that special use permit so you can move forward and build out the development. A personal story of mine is currently I bought a mobile home park in my hometown in New Hampshire, and it had an existing 45 lots. There's a need for affordable housing in the area. The average house is over $500,000 because it's a suburb of Boston. And when I bought the property, I knew there was an additional 20 plus acres of land in the back of the property that at one point had expansion rights to grow or build more mobile home lots. And that approval expired, but the fact that there was an existing mobile home park on the front of the parcel and all that vacant land in the back allowed me to submit for 55 new mobile home pads in the back, and the property pencils out because I can develop these lots for under $100,000 per site, yet I can sell a mobile home for $350,000 and generate roughly a $50,000 to $80,000 profit per home that I put in the community. That helps me offset my development cost and allows me to make the development economically feasible. At the end of the development, after 4 to 5 years, because this takes a lot of time, I will have a 110 unit mobile home park, and it will be pristine because half of it's brand new, and we redeveloped the front of the property where there's new roads, new utilities, some new homes in there, and it is a premium property, but it's a lot of work to develop a park. The thing that I wanted to highlight is the only reason that I submitted for that expansion behind the property is because in the state of New Hampshire, there's a workforce housing law that requires towns to meet the minimum affordable housing requirement for the state. So the municipality or town can't just deny your project because they don't want mobile homes in their community. They have to look at meeting that requirement based on the state regulation. So look at your state and see if there's any mandates towards affordable housing, and make sure that manufactured housing or mobile home parks are a form of affordable housing that qualifies for that state mandate. Why do cities typically deny mobile home park zoning? Well, number one is it doesn't create larger tax revenues for the city. Number two is a lot of residents that live nearby don't want lower income tenants in their neighborhood. And number three, the perception of it driving down property values because mobile homes are cheaper than single family homes is a negative connotation to mobile home parks. These are things that a zoning attorney can help you combat. So if you're really gonna move forward and try to develop a mobile home park, it's probably a good idea to call the Manufactured Housing Association in your state and find the right attorney that can represent you when applying to the town to get the proper zoning and permits to build your mobile home park. That's what I did, and I'm happy to pay that attorney's fees because I got the approvals that I needed. How do you check the zoning before you buy a piece of land to put a mobile home park on there? Well, every city or every municipality has a zoning portion of their town website. So check the town website, look at the zoning regulations, look at the master plan, and you'll see, is mobile home parks a use in the town? Is it a permitted zoning use? If there isn't a use or a zoning permit for mobile home parks, you don't wanna buy a piece of land and try to get that approved because there's no current regulation around mobile home parks. It's very hard to get the town on board to allow that zoning. But typically you'll see there is some type of zoning regulation for it, and you wanna be sure that you buy land in that area. So check your local town or municipal website, or call the town up or go over to the town. And when you meet with the town, they're gonna tell you how many homes you can put per acre, and they'll walk you through if building a mobile home park is actually feasible for your site. What do you do if your land is not properly zoned? Well, number one, don't buy it. If you are in escrow and you do not have the right zoning, do not close on the land, do not pay all cash for it, wait till you get the proper zoning. Now, number two, if you have an existing mobile home park or mobile homes on there, then checking with your municipality zoning department and building department and ensuring that you have the grandfathered use. Now, if the grandfathered use is across the entire property, great. Then you can apply to expand the mobile home park on that entire site. You still need to check with the building department to make sure they'll allow for the expansion, but that grandfathered use goes a long way, and that's why I was successful with my mobile home park project, because it already had a grandfathered use, and I used that grandfathered use to expand on the rest of the property. Typically, when you're researching your parcel of land and you do have mobile homes on it, it would be called a legal non-conforming use. So it's non-conforming to the current zoning typically, and the current use, though, it's allowed and grandfathered in, and this is how you can continue to operate your business. So now you know the zoning required to build a mobile home park. If you have a project that you want to build, come to my website, patriotholdings.com. We'll take a look at the project and give you a cost estimate of what it costs me to build mobile home parks and see if your project is going to pencil.